Hey, this video is going to be, first of all, my pregnancy announcement. I think today I'm 5 weeks and 4 days pregnant. So that is so exciting. I honestly and truly did not think that I was going to get pregnant this fast because of the surgery that I had, which was a DNC for my molar pregnancy. I honestly thought that that was going to kind of slow down the process or possibly make it so we couldn't even have kids. Like, I kind of expected the worst, to be honest. So when I saw that faint second line on that pregnancy test, I was just like, no way, you know? I'm out of breath. I'm gonna go over symptoms. I'm gonna go over a couple things that have been staples right now in my first trimester, very early in my first trimester. This video is going to come out probably when I'm around 8 weeks after we get the ultrasound back. But I will be doing probably every 2-week pregnancy updates after that. I just wanted to film this video now because I'm in it so that I can remember my symptoms and stuff and what's going on. My last period was on, oh, also, and a disclaimer, if the talk of like bodily functions that are completely natural and normal like bug you, that's fine. Ain't no thing. Just click out of this video because we're real around here on Mama Bean, okay? And so I'm gonna be talking about pregnancy and real stuff. So anyway, my last period was on February 2nd, and so that is the first day of my pregnancy. And I want to say around February 25th, maybe around like February 27th, like towards the end of February, I got a little ting of pain, like a little lightning bolt of pain in my boobies. And I'm like, what is that? Because I knew that I was about to start my period, but I'm not the person who my boobs hurt before I start my period, or even when I'm on my period. They're not sensitive, they don't hurt, like that's not a thing for me. But I didn't want to get excited, you know, we don't want to get excited. Trying to reel it back, okay? And so I was just like, that was weird. Continuing on. So it kept happening though. I kept getting these lightning bolts in my boobs, and then my boobs just were super sensitive and they feel really heavy, which I don't know how to describe that to you because if you have big boobies, they always feel heavy, and I don't, but it feels like more than that. Just like they are like heavy rocks just hanging and like swinging slowly in the wind. That's what it feels like. But again, didn't want to think anything of it. So David and I were trying. We were obviously trying on purpose, and so I had the kit that tells you if you're ovulating, and then also has a bunch of pregnancy tests in it. But it was the little strip kind of like the ones that you put in your hot tub to see if there's enough chlorine, kind of like those. And so I kept taking those. I was like taking them, nothing. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not pregnant, whatever. Then I started to get a lot of discharge, which is another sign that also happened with my pregnancy with Simeon and then my molar pregnancy, lots of like watery discharge. And I'm like, gosh, this is annoying, like, but you know, it might be my period. I don't know, you know? So I, again, dismissed that, and I'm taking pregnancy tests like every day. I'm like, this is so weird. These are weird symptoms, but I kept saying negative, so I kept living my life. Then I started getting cramps in my calves, which is another thing that I get in both of my other pregnancies that I've had. And so then I'm like, I feel like I am. Why are these tests continuing to say negative? Again, continued on with my life. Like days are going by, right? Then I opened a granola bar for Simeon, and it was like strawberry flavor or whatever. And I'm just like, ugh. Like the smell of the granola bar just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, that is so fragrant. Like I never noticed that before. It smells so much like fake strawberry. And it was like insulting to my senses. And David was like, that literally has no smell. Now his nose is bad. Like he can't smell very well. So I kind of dismissed that as well. But at the same time, he says that that's when he knew that I was pregnant, was when I just smelt this candy bar and it was so fragrant. And so I started to get mad. I'm like, okay, at this point, I want to say it was like March 2nd or 3rd or something. And I kept taking these strip tests and they kept saying negative. And so I'm like, no, I know that I'm pregnant at this point. Like all these things adding up, and my boobs just kept getting more and more like pain, swollen, like that type of sensation. So I go to the store and I get First Response because Clear Blue and First Response, I really like both of them. But I was trying to get the most amount of tests for the cheapest like price. And so I got the First Response ones, and those are the ones where it's just 2 lines. And so I took one and I had the faintest, and I will try and insert a picture here. Like you see, the faintest of first, or like second line. It was so faint. But I will have you know, if you are just curious, if you're someone who's never been pregnant before, a line is a line, okay? A lot of people, and I was so surprised that so many people didn't know this, but if you are not pregnant, you will not get a second line. There is such things as like false positives, but for the most part, like if you have a second line, even if it's so incredibly faint, you are pregnant, okay? And so I got that faint line, but I knew that I really wanted to be pregnant, and so I'm like, maybe I'm seeing things, okay? Because, you know, you turn it, it was a little iffy, so I like sent it to my friend, and I'm like, am I crazy, or is this a second line? And she's like, that's a second line, you're pregnant, girl, and was like getting all excited. I went over to my stepmom's that night, I told her, and then I had to figure out how I was going to tell David, because I wanted it to be cute. And so I took a picture of David and Simeon sleeping on the couch, but my pregnancy test was in the foreground and they were like kind of blurry. And I'll insert the picture so you can see, but I'll describe it to you anyway. I edited the words, "Hey Dad," with an exclamation point on the test, and it just turned out to be like the cutest picture ever. And so if I haven't already, that's going to be the picture that I post on my Instagram, as well as probably an ultrasound picture too. But anyways, Simeon goes to bed and I'm like, hey honey, like, do you want to see a really cool picture that I took today? And so I showed it to him and he was so excited, and he was just like, no, first he was like, no way. And then he was like, I knew it when you smelled that granola bar. And I'm like, yeah. So that is how I found out, and that is how I kind of told David, and I just texted my family. I'm just like, I need to tell them right away, because me and my family tell each other everything, and so to keep that secret was a bummer. And we haven't told David's family yet, because we want them all to be together, and we want to do it really cute. But by the time this video goes up, we obviously will have told them. But here are my pregnancy must-haves, okay? My first one, I'll show you. My first one is this water bottle, and you may be thinking, McKenna, this is just a water bottle, but it's been 3 pregnancies now, which is crazy to say that I've been pregnant. This one will be my 3rd time, but when the nausea starts to kick in, I hate water. And I'm normally a person who doesn't really like water, but as I've grown older, I've been able to get more used to it. But when I'm pregnant, I really hate water. I'm out of breath. So I needed to find an enjoyable way to drink water, and maybe something to add into my water. So this is kind of a 2-for-1. First of all, the water bottle itself. It has a little thing, love that. It's thin, so it fits in any cup holder. I've had some water bottles that I buy, I'm so excited about it, and then they don't even fit in my cup holder, and it's really upsetting. Third thing is it locks. So this little area right here is a locking mechanism, so Simeon can't get in it because he always wants to drink my water. And if you follow me on Instagram, because I've been doing reels lately because I'm young and hip, I talked about how he backwashes in my water and it gets all disgusting. Anyways, so that's like lovely. It's like they had me personally in mind. And so then you press this button and this pops up and it stays open. So this lid isn't gonna hit you in the face, that type of thing. And one of my favorite features of all is it has a straw. So you literally, love it. And my lipstick gets on here, but whatever. And it's in pink. They had it in a mint color and they had it in black, and it's at Target, and it's the Elo brand. But I like this more than my Hydro Flask, which I never thought I'd say. I know, blasphemy, but I like it more than my Hydro Flask. So I highly recommend this water bottle, because there's so many little details that just make me love it so much. And I have upped my water intake significantly. Like, I can drink 2 or 3 of these a day, which I'm pretty sure still isn't the recommended amount, but it's way more than I was drinking before. Another thing, so what I put in here is liquid IV. So liquid IV you can get at Costco, and they have a hydrating one and then they have an energy one, and I kind of use them interchangeably. Right now in my pregnancy, coffee's kind of grossing me out, which makes me really, really sad. But I still want to get my caffeine just a little bit, just a tinkle bit. So the energy one, sorry, that's another symptom I'm having is pregnancy brain. The energy liquid IV, which I will try and insert a picture, but anyways, that one has matcha in it. And then the hydrating one is strawberry flavored, and it just has electrolytes and stuff like that in it. And so I've been really enjoying those, and they have super low sugar, super low calories. I've also been giving the hydrating one to Simeon because he thinks it's juice, and it works out fantastic. So I don't have to give him super sugary juice. But that's what I drink in here. So this one is the energy one, and I use half of a packet for this water bottle because I feel like they're very strong. So good. My next is prenatals, and shout out to my brother-in-law's dad, because I think he works at this company, and so he gets to try a lot of the products, and so he got them for free for me. That was so nice. But it is the Vitaffusion prenatals. I love these. They're natural raspberry lemon flavor, and they're gentle on the stomach. They say that, and it is true. I can eat these and not have to eat food, which in my first pregnancy, I had like these big old horse pill prenatals that I would take. And first of all, I hate taking pills. It's very difficult for me. Second of all, they would make me so sick, so ill. And so it was a horrible time. But these are delicious. It's like a little treat that I get to have either in the morning or at night or whenever I take them. They're coated in sugar. If that's not your jam, I understand, but it's totally my jam. I'll show you what they look like. Look at these little guys. So cute. Anyways, they're delicious. And they don't make me feel sick, so that's a plus. So I have been loving these. My next thing is a natural deodorant. I wear natural deodorant anyways ever since probably like several months before my pregnancy with Simeon. I started my natural deodorant journey, but I just thought that I'd mention this one. Towards when my pregnancy progresses, I will probably have to switch to the sensitive native one, because yeah, if it has baking soda in it, that starts to irritate my underarms the longer I'm pregnant. I don't know why, but it just does. But for right now, this one is working fine, and this is in the palm leaf and bergamot, I don't know. But it's super fresh. Love it so much. And so that's the natural deodorant that I use. What are the other things that have been go-tos for me? I don't know. I totally had another favorite that I was going to mention, and I didn't remember what it was. I guess I'll just mention the app that I'm using. I know that there was one more product that I wanted to share with you, but I, for the life of me, cannot remember what it was. So I'll leave it down below if I remember what it was. But the app that I'm using right now, which I used a different app with my first pregnancy, but I'm really enjoying this app. And I already forgot what the name was, but I will insert a picture of it. But the reason that I love this app is because, so they take like ultrasounds from real women, like camera footage from real women, all these like real pictures of babies. And so at each stage, like as your baby's growing, not only do they have these just incredible like animations of your baby, and they even have like the sounds of the womb, and it's like a very immersive experience. But they give you a list of all these different babies, and you get to pick like what you think you're like, kind of like what you look like. So obviously I'm pale AF, and so I picked the pale AF baby on there. And then as you progress in your pregnancy, they show you ultrasound, they show you camera footage of a baby that looks like that. And so you kind of get a better idea of what your baby actually looks like in there, because obviously we can't be getting ultrasounds like every week or something when we're pregnant. And so it's nice to just see that and see them progressing. And they also tell you, of course, what fruit your baby is at the different weeks. They show you, you know, a woman's body and how big the baby is in comparison to your stomach and your insides and everything. They have a bunch of articles, of course. I just liked this app because it was so real and so immersive, and it wasn't as like kitschy, cute, like cutesy, cartoony as some of the other apps that I have used in the past. And of course they tell you how pregnant you are, and they tell you, you know, like, oh, at this week your baby's heart starts beating and blah blah blah, all the things. And so I've just been really enjoying it, and it's been a really awesome tool to show Simeon. So we have already told him that there's a baby in there. I want him to know about pregnancy. I want him to know about miscarriage. I want him to know about those things. I want to raise up a generation that isn't afraid to talk about those things, even though like miscarriage and stuff can be hard. Molar pregnancy, like I had, was hard. But yeah, so that's why, a side note, we are announcing at 8 weeks instead of waiting till 12. And literally the only reason we're waiting till 8 weeks to announce it publicly is because I want the cute ultrasound picture. So that's literally the only reason. But if I miscarry, like, I want the people who are going to congratulate me to also be there for me if something goes awry, you know? I want to normalize that. So anyways, we have been telling Simeon that there's a baby in there, and I've been showing him the little baby in the app, and he like is actually quite interested, and you get to, you know, see the little baby, and you get to hear all the sounds, and it's just super duper cool. So I will have it linked down below, but I forgot the name of it. Yeah, it's all for me. But yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm really excited to be pregnant. I'm trying to continue to be excited and not be nervous that things may not work out, or that it, you know, will end up like it did last time. I'm trying to give this baby and this pregnancy as much of my positivity as possible. So that's where I'm at right now. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. There will be more pregnancy updates to come. If you are pregnant, we can, you know, be pregnant together, follow along. Congratulations to you. Yeah, so if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe, because there is so much more where this came from. And I hope you are having as good of a week as you possibly can. Leave any prayer requests down below, or personal message me on one of my socials. I always have those linked down below, and I will be praying for you. And I will see you guys in my next video.